On March 14, 2025, a significant controversy erupted surrounding CK Hutchison, a major conglomerate founded by the prominent businessman Li Ka-shing. The company's recent decision to proceed with substantial port deals, including key projects in Panama, has drawn severe criticism, particularly from Beijing. This situation highlights the growing tensions between Hong Kong's business landscape and the Chinese government, indicating a shift in the political and economic dynamics affecting corporate operations in the region. The bold move by CK Hutchison. CK Hutchison's choice to advance with the port deals without first consulting the Chinese government has been described as a bold calculation. Sources indicate that this decision was made against the backdrop of a complex and increasingly stringent political environment in Hong Kong, where business decisions can have far-reaching implications. The lack of consultation with Beijing is seen as a miscalculation, especially given the current atmosphere of heightened scrutiny over corporate actions that may be perceived as contradictory to national interests. Official backlash. Following the announcement of these deals, the Hong Kong and Macau office, a governmental body, reprinted an article that harshly criticized Li Ka-shing, labeling the port sales as a betrayal of the Chinese people. The article questions CK Hutchison's loyalty to China, framing the deals as a significant misstep that undermined the interests of the nation. Such public denunciation from a governmental entity underscores the serious repercussions that can follow corporate decisions that are deemed inconsistent with the expectations of the Chinese leadership. Speculation on consequences. A friend with insider knowledge suggested that had CK Hutchison sought approval from Beijing prior to finalizing the deals, the response would likely have been negative. This insinuation raises questions about the company's motivations and strategic thinking. By opting not to consult, CK Hutchison may have aimed to avoid a rejection, but this choice has left the conglomerate vulnerable to backlash. The critical reappraisal from the Hong Kong and Macau office raises concerns about possible punitive measures against CK Hutchison. As the article states, will CK Hutchison face some sort of punishment? This question reflects a broader sense of uncertainty within Hong Kong's corporate sector, where the dynamic between business and government has become increasingly fraught. Changing business climate for Hong Kong conglomerates. The situation with CK Hutchison exemplifies a larger trend affecting conglomerates in Hong Kong. The statement that it is no longer simply business as usual captures the essence of the evolving landscape. Businesses are now required to navigate a complex interplay of political considerations alongside traditional economic factors. The implications of this shift are profound, as companies may need to reassess their operational strategies to align more closely with government expectations. External insights and geopolitical dynamics. In addition to the local criticisms, there are external perspectives that add complexity to the situation. One source pointed out the potential implications of international investment dynamics, specifically mentioning BlackRock and its historical ties to China. This commentary suggests that the involvement of foreign investment firms in critical infrastructure projects like the Panama ports could signify a deeper layer of geopolitical maneuvering. If CK Hutchison were to sell interests to BlackRock, it could be viewed as a continuation of Chinese influence over strategic assets despite the apparent breach in loyalty. Conclusion. The unfolding events surrounding CK Hutchison underscore a pivotal moment for Hong Kong's business community. The decision to move forward with port deals without consulting Beijing has not only drawn severe criticism but also raises critical questions about the future of corporate governance in the region. As political and economic landscapes evolve, companies like CK Hutchison may need to adapt to a new reality where business operations are increasingly intertwined with political allegiance and national interest. The ramifications of this situation are likely to reverberate across the corporate sector in Hong Kong as conglomerates grapple with the necessity of aligning their strategies with the expectations of the Chinese government. In this context, the relationship between business and politics in Hong Kong may never return to the business as usual model that once prevailed. CK Hutchison's recent port deals, particularly those involving Panama, have ignited significant controversy due to the company's decision to proceed without consulting Beijing. This bold move has drawn severe criticism from the Hong Kong and Macau office, which reprinted an article accusing Li Ka-shing, the founder of CK Hutchison, of betrayal towards the Chinese people. The article questions the conglomerate's loyalty to China, highlighting the increasing intertwining of business and political considerations in Hong Kong. A counterintuitive aspect of this situation is the suggestion that if Li Ka-shing had consulted Beijing prior to the deals, the response would have likely been negative, leading to the conclusion that the conglomerate made a calculated decision to forego seeking approval. This reflects a complex dynamic. While one might assume that consulting with the government would be a prudent step for a Hong Kong-based business, in this case the potential for a negative response influenced the decision to act independently. The implications of CK Hutchison's actions extend beyond immediate criticism. The environment for Hong Kong conglomerates has shifted dramatically. It is increasingly clear that operations are subject to heightened political scrutiny. The phrase "no longer simply business as usual" captures this reality, indicating that companies may face punitive measures or increased oversight if they act contrary to the interests of the Chinese government. The commentary from insiders suggests that the landscape for business in Hong Kong is evolving, where political alignment is becoming as critical as financial strategy. This raises alarm bells for other conglomerates, which may now need to navigate a more treacherous terrain where loyalty to the state is paramount. Furthermore, the article indicates potential repercussions for CK Hutchison, though how these might manifest remains speculative. The speculation around potential punishment underscores the precarious position of businesses in Hong Kong, where political and economic interests are increasingly at odds. In summary, CK Hutchison's port deal decisions have not only drawn criticism from authorities but have also illustrated the delicate balance Hong Kong businesses must maintain in light of growing political influence in corporate affairs. The situation serves as a reminder of how interconnected business operations and political considerations have become in the region, and it may set a precedent for future corporate strategies. CK Hutchison's controversial decision to proceed with significant port deals, particularly in Panama, without Beijing's approval has raised eyebrows and sparked intense scrutiny, particularly from the Hong Kong and Macau office. The reprinting of an article that harshly criticizes Li Ka-shing, the conglomerate's founder, accusing him of a betrayal against the Chinese people, serves as a stark reminder of the increasingly complex and politicized landscape that businesses in Hong Kong must navigate. Overlooked content. 1. Political implications of business decisions. Many observers may focus primarily on the financial ramifications of CK Hutchison's port deals, but the political implications are equally significant. The backlash from the Hong Kong and Macau office is not merely a critique of one company's decisions, it reflects a broader shift in the relationship between business and government in Hong Kong. The accusation of betrayal highlights how corporate actions are now being scrutinized through a nationalistic lens, which can have severe consequences for businesses that fail to align with the prevailing political ethos. 2. The role of loyalty. The questioning of CK Hutchison's loyalty to China is particularly noteworthy. In the context of Chinese politics, loyalty is often equated with adherence to the Communist Party's directives and a commitment to national interests. This incident underscores how business leaders are expected to navigate their corporate strategies in a manner that aligns with political expectations. The potential for punitive measures against CK Hutchison raises questions about the future of corporate autonomy in Hong Kong. This development could redefine how businesses operate, shifting their focus from profitability to political compliance. 3. The decision not to consult. The strategic decision by CK Hutchison to not consult Beijing before proceeding with the port deals is a critical point that deserves more attention. A friend with inside knowledge indicated that the outcome of such a consultation would have likely been negative, suggesting that the company consciously chose to circumvent an unfavorable response. This decision reflects a level of risk-taking that may not align with the increasingly cautious approach that Hong Kong businesses are expected to adopt in the current political climate. Understanding the motivations behind this decision could provide insight into the company's strategic vision and its willingness to challenge the status quo. 4. Punitive measures and consequences. The speculation surrounding potential punitive measures against CK Hutchison is significant but might be overlooked in broader discussions about the incident. If the Chinese government decides to impose consequences, it could set a precedent for how other Hong Kong conglomerates approach their business strategies in the future. This development could lead to a chilling effect where companies may prioritize political alignment over strategic growth, stifling innovation and competitive dynamics in the region. 5. International investment dynamics. Source 3 introduces an external perspective on the involvement of international entities like BlackRock in the context of these port deals. The notion that CK Hutchison could sell to BlackRock, which has established ties with China, adds a layer of complexity to the discussion. This highlights the intricate web of international finance and investment where local decisions can have global implications. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for grasping the full impact of CK Hutchison's decisions on both local and international levels. Significance of overlooked content. The significance of these overlooked points lies in their potential to reshape the understanding of business operations in Hong Kong amidst a rapidly changing political environment. As political loyalty becomes increasingly intertwined with corporate success, the implications for business strategy investment and operational autonomy cannot be understated. 1. Corporate governance. The evolving landscape necessitates a re-evaluation of corporate governance practices. Companies may need to adopt more politically aware strategies which could dilute the traditional focus on shareholder value and profitability. 2. Investor sentiment. The perception of loyalty and alignment with the Chinese government could influence investor sentiment. Investors may become more cautious, weighing political risk against potential returns, which could lead to shifts in capital flows and investment strategies. 3. Impacts on innovation. If businesses prioritize political alignment over innovation, the long-term growth prospects for Hong Kong's economy could be jeopardized. A culture of compliance may stifle creativity and entrepreneurial spirit, which are vital for economic resilience. By geopolitical relations, the incident illustrates how local business decisions can have broader geopolitical implications, especially in the context of US-China relations. The involvement of international investors could complicate these dynamics further, warranting close attention from policymakers and business leaders alike. 5. Strategic decision-making. The decision-making process within corporations may need to evolve to incorporate political considerations as a fundamental component. This could lead to the development of new frameworks for evaluating risks and opportunities that encompass both business and political landscapes. In summary, the incident involving CK Hutchison's port deals serves as a pivotal case study in the intersection of business and politics in Hong Kong. The overlooked content sheds light on the complexities and potential ramifications of corporate decision-making in an environment where political loyalty and compliance are becoming increasingly paramount. Understanding these dynamics is essential for stakeholders, including business leaders, investors, and policymakers, as they navigate the future of commerce in Hong Kong. In analyzing the situation surrounding CK Hutchison's controversial port deals, particularly those in Panama, several key points emerge that warrant in-depth discussion. These points reflect the complex interplay between business decisions and political dynamics in Hong Kong and China. Here are the 4 most valuable points for analysis. 1. The implications of not consulting Beijing. CK Hutchison's decision to proceed with significant port deals without prior consultation with the Chinese government represents a bold but risky move. This lack of communication is particularly noteworthy given the increasing centralization of political control under Beijing, especially in Hong Kong. The criticism from the Hong Kong and Macau office labeling the port sales as a betrayal underscores the potential consequences of disregarding the political landscape. This situation raises questions about the nature of corporate governance in Hong Kong. Traditionally, many businesses operated with a degree of autonomy, however. The current climate suggests that failing to align with the Chinese government's expectations can lead to severe backlash. The analysis could delve into historical precedents of corporate decisions facing political ramifications in Hong Kong and explore the evolving expectations of loyalty from conglomerates like CK Hutchison. 2. Reactions from authorities and public perception. The swift reprinting of a critical article by the Hong Kong and Macau office signifies not only an official backlash but also a potential shift in public sentiment regarding business practices in Hong Kong. By accusing Li Ka-shing of betraying the Chinese people, the authorities are framing the narrative to align with nationalistic sentiments which could influence public opinion against CK Hutchison. An in-depth analysis could explore how such state-sponsored narratives impact the reputation of businesses and the perception of their leaders among the populace. Additionally, it would be beneficial to examine how public sentiment can affect corporate strategies and decision-making, especially in light of the increasing intertwining of politics and business in Hong Kong. 3. Changing landscape for Hong Kong conglomerates. The assertion that it is no longer simply business as usual reflects a broader transformation in the operational environment for Hong Kong's conglomerates. This shift is marked by the increasing need for companies to navigate a landscape where political considerations are paramount. A thorough discussion could address the implications of this changing landscape on business strategies. Companies may need to adopt more cautious approaches to international investments, balancing their ambitions with the risk of political repercussions. This could lead to a re-evaluation of how businesses in Hong Kong engage with foreign markets and the potential necessity for more robust relationships with the Chinese government to ensure operational viability. 4. International investment dynamics and control. The mention of potential involvement from BlackRock and its ties to China adds another layer of complexity to the discussion. This perspective introduces the idea that strategic assets such as the Panama ports may still be under the influence of Chinese control even when ownership changes hands. Delving into this dynamic could lead to a broader exploration of international investment strategies and the implications of foreign investments in critical infrastructure. An analysis could consider how global companies must navigate not just local politics but also international relations, particularly as they pertain to strategic assets that are of national importance. Understanding the motivations behind such investments and the potential for ongoing Chinese oversight can shed light on the complexities of global commerce in today's geopolitical climate. In summary, the case of CK Hutchison's port deal serves as a crucial example of the intricate relationship between business and politics in Hong Kong. By examining the implications of the company's decisions, reactions from authorities, the changing landscape for conglomerates, and the dynamics of international investment, we gain insights into the challenges and opportunities faced by businesses operating in this increasingly politicized environment. 1. The Opium Wars 1839–1842 and 1856–1860. The Opium Wars were a series of conflicts between China and Western powers, primarily Britain, over trade imbalances and the opium trade. The First Opium War began when China attempted to suppress the opium trade, which was detrimental to its society and economy. Britain, benefiting from the trade, responded militarily. The resulting Treaty of Nanking imposed unfair conditions on China, leading to territorial concessions and extraterritorial rights for British citizens. This conflict highlighted the clash between Western commercial interests and Chinese sovereignty, much like CK Hutchison's perceived betrayal of Chinese interests by pursuing port deals without Beijing's approval. 2. The Suez Crisis 1956. The Suez Crisis involved Egypt's nationalization of the Suez Canal, which had been controlled by British and French interests. In response, Britain, France, and Israel launched a military intervention. However, the crisis escalated into a broader geopolitical conflict with the United States and the Soviet Union pressuring the invading nations to withdraw. The Suez Crisis exemplifies how national interests, colonial legacies, and international diplomacy intersected, leading to significant consequences for the involved countries. Similar to C.K. Hutchison's situation, this episode reflects the complexities businesses face when navigating national loyalties and international agreements. 3. The Dreyfus Affair 1894–1906. The Dreyfus Affair was a political scandal in France involving a Jewish army officer, Alfred Dreyfus, who was wrongfully convicted of treason. The case was marked by anti-Semitism and highlighted deep divisions within French society. The affair drew attention to issues of loyalty, nationalism, and the consequences of political miscalculations. As public sentiment grew against the military's actions and the government's handling of the case, had led to significant political upheaval, echoing C.K. Hutchison's predicament, where accusations of betrayal could lead to public and governmental backlash against perceived disloyalty to national interests. The future outlook for C.K. Hutchison following its controversial port deals, particularly in Panama, indicates a complex interplay of business and politics in Hong Kong. The decision to proceed without consulting Beijing has already drawn severe criticism from Chinese authorities, and the implications of this move could shape the company's trajectory significantly. Predictions for C.K. Hutchison and the business landscape in Hong Kong. 1. Increased political scrutiny. As the backlash from the Hong Kong and Macau office suggests, HK conglomerates like C.K. Hutchison may face heightened scrutiny from the Chinese government. This scrutiny could manifest in regulatory changes that require companies to seek approval for significant international deals, particularly those involving strategic assets. The requirement for prior consultation could become a norm, shifting the operational landscape for businesses in Hong Kong. 2. Potential sanctions or punitive measures, given the strong language used by the Hong Kong and Macau office. C.K. Hutchison may encounter repercussions ranging from fines to restrictions on future business operations. This could extend to limitations on foreign investments or partnerships that the company is able to pursue. If such actions are taken, they would serve as a cautionary tale for other Hong Kong businesses contemplating similar bold moves without government endorsement. 3. Shifts in investment strategy. In light of the current political climate, C.K. Hutchison may need to recalibrate its investment strategy to align more closely with Beijing's interests. This could involve focusing on investments that support China's Belt and Road Initiative or engaging in sectors deemed strategic by the government. The company might also prioritize domestic projects over international ones to mitigate risks associated with potential backlash. For changing dynamics of business in Hong Kong, the notion that it is no longer simply business as usual will likely resonate throughout Hong Kong's corporate sector. Companies may need to integrate political risk assessments into their strategic planning and operations. This could lead to a more cautious approach to international expansion and a stronger emphasis on compliance with governmental directives. 5. Impact on investor confidence. Investors may become wary of engaging with Hong Kong conglomerates if they perceive a heightened risk of political interference. This could lead to capital flight, with investors seeking more stable environments for their investments. Conversely, companies that demonstrate alignment with government policies could attract favorable investment terms and support. 6. Corporate governance reforms. In response to this evolving landscape, C.K. Hutchison and other conglomerates may consider implementing governance reforms that enhance transparency and accountability. Establishing clearer channels for communication with the government, as well as refining decision-making processes to include political considerations, may become essential for maintaining operational viability. 7. Long-term relationship with Beijing. The relationship between C.K. Hutchison and the Chinese government will be pivotal in determining the company's future. If the company can navigate the current fallout and re-establish trust with Beijing, it may find new opportunities for collaboration. However, failure to mend this relationship could lead to long-term isolation from critical markets and resources. 8. Rise of alternative business models, as traditional business practices face challenges. There may be a rise in alternative business models that prioritize local partnerships and community engagement. Companies may focus more on building relationships with local governments and stakeholders to ensure smoother operations and compliance with regional policies. Conclusion. The future for CK Hutchison and other Hong Kong conglomerates hinges on their ability to adapt to a rapidly changing political environment where business decisions are increasingly intertwined with governmental oversight. The potential consequences of CK Hutchison's recent decisions serve as a stark reminder of the new realities facing businesses in Hong Kong. Strategic foresight, alignment with government priorities, and a focus on compliance will be crucial for navigating this complex landscape and ensuring sustainable growth in the years to come.